guys, welcome to Red Line Talk Show. I'm here today with Iliana, and a
Hello.
special guest for today is Megi Rama, who is a passionate young leader from Shkodër, who moved here about 5 years ago. And now you are the moderator of the Albanian Students Club, St. Francis.
That's
Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Megi.
Thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure to be here today and have this podcast with you guys.
Thank you. Megi, so your journey from Shkodër to the United States has been filled with achievements in both leadership and in the arts. But what inspired you to pursue your education in U.S., even though when you were back home, you were doing very well? So tell us a little bit about your journey.
It started back in Shkodër. I was always passionate. Since I was young, I wanted to do my secondary education abroad. It was always in my mind. And the luck and my desire came together when my parents won the American lottery.
Oh, nice.
And then from there, exactly. And then from there, I started doing my research, which high school I'm gonna go, which colleges and stuff. And yeah, it happened really. The desire and the luck came together, and here I am today, living the American dream.
Are you living the American dream?
I am working, I am living, but I'm also working to make it a better American dream. Not the regular one.
What is your American dream?
Being fulfilled, having a great career, having a well-known name, having a family, building a family. And I'm not into, because people have a goal, I want to make money. I'm not into that much. I'm most into making myself happy and making myself and my family proud for my career and for who I'm gonna be.
So basically fulfilling yourself.
Fulfilling myself, exactly.
So you were the president of the Albanian Student Club in St. Francis, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit why you started that club. Was that the first club, the Albanian club, or you found a previous club there?
No, the club was built. It's been now 8 or 9 years that the club has been built. So I was there as a freshman, but then it was COVID, so I couldn't. Everything was online. So when I started getting engaged and more active was my second year of college. And that's where the president at that time, Arkelino Hila, he mentioned, he saw me, he saw my engagement, he saw the activities that I wanted to join. So he proposed me to become the secretary of the club. I became the secretary. I believe we shaped the club in a very good way from what it was and what it is now. And then I got voted to become the moderator, the president of the club. And that's where we did a lot of great things, and we started great causes with the club, and we got it into another level where it is now.
Let's talk about some of the great causes that you were able to initiate and be supported by the St. Francis School, along with other sponsors.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
I would mention the most important one,
Yes.
the cause that we got all together to build a sensory room or a therapy room, and also to reconstruct the environment or reconstruct the school, the special school for kids with special needs and disabilities in Shkodër, Albania. That was the biggest thing that the club have done. And of course, with that doesn't come by ourselves only. It also comes with the great people that surrounded us, with the great people that supported us. And especially the main supporter that we had was Emina Chulmulaj, the philanthropist, and also the model.
Of course we know who she is. But how did that come about, though? How did you get involved in that specific?
When I was in Shkodër, in high school, we do something called community service. So we were taken. They gave us couple options, and the option that I picked was to do community service to the school. The moment I saw the kid, it's just the feeling that comes to your heart, looking at their eyes, looking the way they were hugging you, the eyes that were looking for hope. Oh, new people came in. What are we gonna do? These eyes, their words, they were stuck in my mind. They were stuck in my heart. So I was like, when is gonna come the time that I'll be able to do something for these kids? And the time came. I kept it in my mind. I kept it in my heart. And then here you go, 5-6 years later, we were able to go back to that school. No more as a student who volunteered, but now as
someone who's giving back.
Someone who's giving back. And it was such a great pleasure. It was hard to collect the funds, to gather the money, because it's really hard to somebody to trust you the money when you're not that well known and don't have the name open yet. So it was really hard. We were very skeptic. Should we start it? Should we do something else? Where can we get funds? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have that much support at the beginning. People were like, oh, we're gonna do something.
Didn't get support from who? The students from your organization, from the Albanians in America, or
Albanians
from
in America, and actually good well-known names that we have here and everybody knows. They were like, oh, we're gonna better to do something in America than do something back home. But when you don't stop, when we call it in Albania, kur e ke njëtin e mirë, when you start with a great intention, everything is gonna go great. And then I met with Amina.
How did that happen? Like, how did that connection form?
To be honest, in my mind, I was like, when I was searching for funds and for people to donate and to support us, I was like, if somebody's gonna help, that's gonna be her. And the time happened like 2 weeks after I was thinking on myself about her. She comes to New York. And then we met with her, and I'm like, listen, we have this. And she was like, okay, you go first. I'm on your back. Whatever you need, we're doing this together.
So you basically manifested it.
Exactly. And we manifested it. And that's how it started with Amina. We traveled in Albania, in Shkodër, like 3-4 times, me, 3-4 times Amina, because we wanted to do everything on our own. So we don't want to just to send the money and then trust somebody for that. We had to do it ourselves. We're meeting the constructing guys. We're meeting with the different, let's say, shops, toy shops, or that they have the tools for the room. And we built it.
Megi, can you explain to us what is the sensory room and why it's important to have a sensory room for special need children?
Sure. Another reason why we picked the sensory room was because I was making the differences, how kids in the US has a lot of opportunities and are also very
Resources
engaged
too.
in the community, and they're not separated. And then I was making the comparison on how they're in Albania. So that's where the sensory room came. It's a room that provides kids with special needs. It can either be autism, Down syndrome, or any other syndrome, with sensory tools. It helps them in stimulating their mind. It helps them to focus on their therapies. It helps them engage with other students. It helps them calm down. We know that with kids with autism, they have a lot of anxiety. They have a lot of stress. And autism is different. It's never the same. Two kids cannot have the same symptoms sometimes. So this room provides them with all the tools that they can stimulate their mind, can stimulate them academically, can also stimulate them physically.
Understood.
Right.
And as far as the funding goes, how much money were you guys able to raise for this project?
We as a college, everything was made transparent. We did use a lot of ways to raise money. We started from bake sales, selling flea, selling burak,
Nice.
Albanian food, and then we also had a lot of other events, let's say with celebrities and with other well-known figures that we were able to collaborate with them, but also they were able to donate. But the main platform that we used, it was GoFundMe. Everything is transparent. They all have the money in there. But I would say both around 11K.
11,000?
Yeah, 11,000.
Okay, it's not bad.
It's not bad at all. What's great about these sensory rooms is that over time, as the children use this regularly, it helps build a sense of independence for them as well. Helps give them techniques to self-soothe when they're anxious, as you mentioned earlier, and just helps promote daily activity for them.
Right.
This is important because a lot of times, special needs kids sometimes can feel lost with not having the same opportunities as someone that's doesn't have these issues. So I thank you for helping the children in Shkodër, at least in this capacity.
Yeah, of course.
Is this your main initiative that you're going to continue to expand, or is it something that it was a one-off project and now you're going to do other things?
Absolutely. I want to continue this project. The room has been built. When we first saw the room, it wasn't, oh my God, the room could not be used. So we had to construct it from bottom to top. We had to pull all the walls down. We had to put the ceiling down to build it from scratch. So that's where the majority of our funds went. But the room is built. This is the most important. I know from the principal of the school that she also proposed the project to a lot of donators, but nobody took responsibility because it was really, really in a really bad condition. So the main importance is the room is built. Now what's important is to keep adding stuff on. We added the majority of the parts. Now, of course, I'm gonna continue working to, let's say, bring another light, sensory light in the room, or bring another tool that can help them, or a new tool that comes up, because every day technology is now evolving and new tools come out. So I'm going to continue that cause, but of course I am going to do more initiatives. Majority will be related to kids, because there's a future. So we need to invest in them and make sure they're raised good and they're raised engaged in a great community and with all the needs they need.
So are you still part of the St. Francis Club, or you graduated from that? Or?
I am. Of course I am. I'm the moderator now. Of course, we have the team. We're all working together. Another initiative that we're taking is to raise funds again for kids of the orphanage.
Okay.
Orphanage kids, in order for them to have a more fun activity for Christmas and New Year. So that's the next plan that we have, and let's hope it's gonna go well. We're gonna be able to raise them and donate to them.
How big is the Albanian Club?
It's pretty big. I would say every year we do the statistics, because there are a lot of international students that join the college as well. So I would say around 140 to 150 students, Albanians, yes. But that includes both born here, first gen, second gen, and internationals.
We don't delineate.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're Albanian, you're Albanian.
You're Albanian.
That's pretty big. Is that one of the biggest clubs out there?
I believe so. There are a lot of Albanian clubs, and they're really, really good Albanian clubs. But I believe we got into top 3 or top 4 for the biggest.
So let me ask you a question around that, because I want to understand more. I graduated college a long time ago.
Both of us. A long time ago.
At my time, we did not have an Albanian club. We did a lot of Albanian events, but we did not have an Albanian official club. So I feel now you guys are in a much better position than we were 10, 15 years ago. How has the collaboration been with other Albanian clubs? Do you guys collaborate with one another, or is it just... Tell us a little bit about that. Is there support?
Yes, we do. We do collaborate. What I like about the Albanian Club is that there is it's a great vibe. It's a great communication between all of us. We actually have an event for November with Sutton Hall University.
Okay.
So that's another collaboration. But also last year we had a lot of collaborations with them. For Kosovo's Independence Day, we do collaborations. It's up to also, we try to maintain, let's say, 1 year one college takes hosts another year another college hosts. So just so we share responsibilities and then we also contribute. This year was Sutton Hall, last year was Yale University. So
how do you guys keep in touch with one? Do you have like a communication channel,
like a forum that you
yes, we do have a forum. We do use, well, nowadays everybody has Instagram, so we reach out through clubs' Instagram pages, or we also know each other by now, so we reach out to each other. Hey, let's do this. Hey, what do you think about this? So that's how we keep in touch with that.
Earlier you were mentioning about how it's Albanians all mixed, like who was born here versus who came as an immigrant. When you first came here and you met like Albanian Americans that were born here, maybe, at this point we're up to second and third generation that are born here.
Third.
And I find it amazing how they're still finding, their heart is bringing them towards their Albanian roots and searching within college to go find these organizations. Did you find a difference in maybe like their mentality of how they speak, how they talk, what their viewpoints are compared to an Albanian who was maybe born over there? And if so, like, what is the difference?
To be honest, not really. So because they're bored, they live with their grandparents, majority of them. So once you live with the grandparents and you're growing up with them, you kind of get the mentality, the Albanian mentality, or you get the Albanian traditions. So once we're all together, there is no, doesn't matter. Either you're born here.
You can't even tell.
You can't even tell. You can't tell.
Until they start speaking Albanian.
That's exactly. Oh, that's, yeah. That's one. But that might be the only one, actually, because they all know how things work. And we tried that. A good thing, something that I like about the Albanian Club is that we keep the communication like we're back home.
Right.
So, because we know American, they talk different and we talk different. So we kind of keep it like we're back home. So it gives us a feeling that, okay, that's another part of home in here in New York.
Right.
So that's one.
So what's the focus? I'm always interested to know what's the focus of the young Albanian, all these clubs. Like, do you guys have, what's your main focus? Is it to keep the culture and identity alive? Is it to be part of a social cause? And walk us a little bit through that. Like, do you guys have any mission statements?
So our mission for the club, Albanian Students at St. Francis, it's to keep Albanians united. Because once we're united, that's when we could become stronger.
How do you do that specifically? Through what?
How we stay united?
Yeah.
Even from a club meeting, we can stay united. Let's help each other. Albanians in our school help each other even with jobs, with on-campus jobs.
So it's a network.
That's a network. And we try to help each other. Let's say I'm working in science department, and I know they're hiring somebody. Why not tell it to my Albanian fellows?
And that was something that we struggled with a lot, when we graduated college like 20 years ago, is that we found that after college, we didn't have a network. We were either immigrants that were here or firstborn generation. And, our parents didn't have the network for, furthering our careers. And we had to create these networks. So it's definitely important what you're doing and staying united to help each other out.
And helping each other. That's how we can go through everything.
I do have to say, though, because you're fairly new to this country, 5 years, right?
Yes.
Okay. Usually Albanians that come from Albania, 5 years, they're not really in tune too much to spend so much time in their culture. They want to adapt to the American way of life as soon as possible, right? However, has that been a challenge for you specifically and for students that come fresh from Albania? Like, what's their focus? Is their focus to adapt to the American lifestyle as soon as possible and not really spend so much time with Albanian causes and the culture and identity because they're coming from there, right?
So personally, I did had this to adapt, but not to adapt and become I'm a proud U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
But of course, I want to create my personality. I want to build my character. And I was born in Albania. And so why come here and say, oh, I'm not Albanian anymore? Or, oh, I'm American.
Yeah,
here. I never had this. I wanted to be Megi. I wanted to be the proud Albanian that became a U.S. citizen and is doing all the good things and is trying to build and open up the Albanian community and keep them united. There are people, I do know people that, I don't want to know anything about Albania now because I'm in U.S. and I have my life here and they close it. Of course.
There's a lot of them, actually, especially from Albania that come here. They tend to stay away from Albanian cultural events.
I mean, I used to get made fun of all the time, like, oh, you're more Albanian than me, and I'm born here second generation. I used to
too. I was an Albanian from there. When I was an immigrant, I was very patriotic, and like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Coming with the Albanian flag at school and just waving it around. But we do have that stigma.
We do,
right?
Yes.
But I think it's different nowadays than it was like back when we were younger, because now even non-Albanians want to be Albanian.
I feel like we became very viral.
We're very viral.
Everybody wants to be.
Well, again, I'm going to challenge you there because Albanians from there don't see it that way.
And he's an Albanian from there.
So she's as well. But, they're trying to get away from there as much as possible and to start something new, right? Whether it's Europe, whether it's America. Yeah. And they want to adapt to that lifestyle as quickly as possible and tend to forget about the Albanian side of them, right? And I know this from personal experience, so it's not like, but I always used to fight that mentality at every chance that I got. So I applaud you for continuing. But tell us a little bit more about what is your future aspiration about the Albanian club specifically, but in general for you as well.
For me and for the Albanian club, I work we're a team. That's how I call them. We're a team and we work together. It doesn't matter who shows up. It matters what we do. Today is me, tomorrow it can be somebody else. I'm gonna support them as much as they support me, and that's how much I'm gonna support even more. Our mission is my personal mission, and of course the club mission. It's to try to make donations for kids in Albania. We need to invest in them, especially as we said, the kids with special needs, autism, Down syndrome, because they're the ones
Most
that are
vulnerable ones.
Yes, and they're the ones that they don't pay that much attention. We know how things work in Albania, and they try to log them in or keep them in because it's mara, they say, but no.
They want to shy them away.
Exactly.
So is there a way that you all can take things to another level by uniting with all the other organizations, come up with one cause, or even 2 or 3 causes, and then kind of work together so you'll make bigger impact?
Exactly, yes.
I mean, I would love to have an Albanian club student front from all the colleges to come together under one specific cause, right? It can be 1 or 2 or 3, it doesn't matter. But if that shows unity amongst all the Albanian colleges, right now, amongst all the student clubs, but if you guys come together under one roof and then you choose a cause,
you'll probably get
then
more support.
You get more support
from businesses as well.
All the revolutions come from the students, right? They're the ones who make things happen, and people get behind them usually because they look at students as the future, right?
Yep.
And if the future is united, if the students are united and they have a cause, I think you guys will get more support from everyone else. Businesses, people with high influential net worth, and so on. So I think it's important that you guys, the students, get together and form some type of a strong networking or unity or a forum where you come under one voice from different clubs, but then you choose a cause and that you dedicate your time, your effort, your work around that.
That's exactly. We're trying to do that. It's a lot of us.
Very nice.
So we're trying to get all together.
So currently, who are some of the clubs that you guys are collaborating with?
Seton Hall is one. Manhattan College is another one. Yale University is another one that has been great supporters. Now we're trying, because it's a lot of, let's say, colleges in New Jersey and universities in Jersey or Connecticut. We're also trying to get in touch with them and make a bigger
locally
group.
In New York, there's a lot. You have Baruch, you have
Baruch.
Pace,
I'm sorry, I forgot Baruch. Baruch is another college that
is Pace
we've
amongst
been.
That too, no?
Pace is inactive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully someone is listening and reactivates Pace.
I'm an alumni of Pace. Actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pace was active when I was in high school.
Okay.
Last year of high school, I would see them active, but after that, I didn't.
Is there
see.
one
After
at
COVID,
NYU? Does the NYU have one?
I don't think
Columbia?
so. No. Columbia does have one. We collaborate with Columbia too. You see now that we do collaborate. Yes, we did had actually with Columbia an event with the Embassy of Kosovo.
Okay.
In honor of Kosovo independence, and the Embassy of Kosovo is also a great promoter for us.
Yes.
They gather us together. This year we also have we're planning a meeting with Embassy of Kosovo and with all the other colleges, so that's where we're also going to talk about how can we get one cause into a next level and to move forward with them. So,
I would love for you guys to do a conference and all come together in one room and just talk about ideas, brainstorm, think of ways they could raise money, use that platform to, invite, guests to talk about different topics. You have so much. You guys are lucky. Back in our days, we didn't have a big Albanian community so united as it is now.
We also didn't have as many going to colleges at that time.
Right.
Either.
Now you have so many success stories from people that graduated, that have careers, that have net worth, that have businesses. You should be able to tap into that resources.
That's one of the main events that we do with successful stories in our college. People who graduated or people who came from nothing with $5 in their pocket, and now they're who they are. They're like big names. So we try to keep that as well, to try to do as many events as we can with this kind of people, just so they inspire us, they motivate us, and they tell. You always need somebody like a mentor to tell you their story, so you kind of do the same steps. You find that, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
so we try to keep them as well.
We've done, so part of this platform is to highlight some of those individuals and success stories, to talk about their journeys, you know, in the business, in life, and how they were able to overcome their challenges, right? And our platform is to do exactly just that and share those stories in hopes of inspiring young people like yourselves to say, oh, wow, I can do that too, you know? But
I did find a fun fact about Megi. She is an EBRU artist.
Oh, yeah.
And you had an exhibition that you had displayed all your artwork back in 2021, and you're working on a new collection.
Yes.
Tell us how you got into EBRU art, and explain, you know, to the audience what is EBRU art?
It's a very antique art. How I got into EBRU. Back in Shkodër again, my parents were always those kind of parents that want to put their kids in every single course that exists.
Yeah.
So Turkish school was an after school, we call it here, that you would finish your normal school, that you would go there. That's where I get to learn the Turkish language, the Turkish culture, the Turkish arts. We did learn too, calligraphy, and then EBRU, but EBRU kind of stood out with me, came along with me. And it's a really hard art. It's very antique. It had its first time it started back in old Asia, and then it got transported to Turkey, and then it came to Albania, to our center. It was just one center in Shkodër, our center, that we're able to do this art, and then only my professor and me were able to continue with it, because it's a hard art, and it needs its own tools. The tools are made, let's say the colors are colors from the ground. It's very natural. And the pigments or the water that is used, it's water from algae, we call it, that are taken from the Black Sea, and then they're prepared and then are put into the water and mixed with the water. Because basically it's paintings on top of the water surface, and then you paint them, you drop the water, and then you let it sit for 24 hours, and then you let it dry, and that's when the art becomes.
I definitely want to see your art.
It's a process, the whole process. So it needs a lot of time, and it can be done in a month or two. An exhibition, it needs maybe 3-4 years to do it, because you need the space for it and you need the time.
So how long have you been working on the exhibition that you had out back in 2021?
The first one, I've been working since I was back in Shkodër.
Wow.
Because let's say you drop one extra color, it's gone. You need to start it from the beginning.
So it requires a lot of patience.
Yes, and it's a really expensive art too, yeah. So it needs a lot of patience. That's actually the art that made me so patient. And because you need to be it's a quick art, but once you drop that extra drop, it's gone. You need to start from scratch.
Do you feel that this is your outlet to kind of put you at peace with yourself and trying to refocus yourself?
Yes, that's definitely it.
For your therapy session?
My therapy session. Whenever I get the free time, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to do this.
And what's the focus on the art specifically? Is it just random stuff, or
it's
culture,
like shapes, dimensions, or is it
there are 7 methods that they are the key for the art, but then it's on top of it, it's whatever your mind tells you. So it's a very abstract art.
Okay, so it's abstract
art.
Got it.
But we're working for the other one, hopefully soon.
Megi, tell us, so you're fairly new here in this country. How's your relationship with Albania now? Do you go back frequently?
Yes, I do go very often. I love Shkodër. I love Albania, but one of the main reasons is my grandma. I'm very connected with her. She brought me up. My mom had to go to work when I was 5 weeks. So my grandma was
So
the
she
one
raised
that
you.
she basically raised
Yeah.
me. So my grandma was the one she raised me, and I do have the majority of my childhood memories
That's
with
probably
her.
the hardest thing for you to come to America, was leaving your grandmother
Leaving my
behind.
grandma. I always say I don't regret it coming to Albania, to America, but if there was one thing that would be in my heart, like a biggest, the only regret I might have, it's just because I left my grandma. Even
But,
though she's really happy
You know, it's
that
nice.
we
Nowadays, you actually get to see through FaceTime. Does she have an iPad?
Yes, she does have an iPad. It's taking her every time, takes her so long to try to deal with it, or she mutes herself, or she closes the camera, or she
And then you have to
calls
scream,
me
"Mom!"
out. Yes, she audio calls me and she's like, "Why don't I see you?" I'm like, "Cause you audio called me, you didn't video call me." So it's those little technical issues that she has, but we get through it and we talk every day with her. And then of course,
Do you
whenever I
get to
try
go
to get
every
the chance,
summer since you've been here, or is
I
it...
do go every summer. I just came back actually like 2 weeks ago. I do go every winter, every summer,
What's your
whenever
favorite-
I try to get.
What's your favorite part besides obviously going to Shkodër and being with your grandmother? But what's something else that you look forward to when you go to Albania?
Just when I go in winter, there is one thing, I wanna smell the fireplace.
Oh, I love that
Oh.
smell.
It's the typical Albanian fire. That's one of the
Yeah.
once you go in winter, and then the summer is different because in Shkodër everybody's out every season, but staying with my family, staying with my grandma, staying with my little cousins. That's one thing that I also missing
Watching them grow up.
watching them grow up. So, but yeah, I try to keep going. As it's hard. It's hard to find the time, but even if it's 4 or 5 days that I get off, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You know, as a young leader, what advice would you give to other Albanian students and young professionals who want to make a difference, whether they're in college or after college?
Trust yourself, be confident, and follow your dreams. If there is one thing you want to do, don't give up. Just keep going. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen today. It's not gonna happen tomorrow. Maybe it's gonna happen after 10 years, but it's gonna happen. So just keep going and keep your head up. Like, be confident, keep your head up, and follow. And never forget where you come from. Always keep your head back. Look at where you came. Do your little journey where you see yourself, and then keep going.
And there's been many times where you could have given up on
Of
the sensory
course.
room and you didn't.
100%.
And I'm sure that you had individuals that you were working side by side that at one point they were like, okay, maybe we should give up on this dream. But, you know, you were able to
100%.
continue to like kind of like re-engage those individuals that were skeptical, as you mentioned earlier.
I did, yeah.
So I commend you for that.
Thank you.
I mean, what are some of your long-term goals for you personally that you have?
Let's talk about 10 years from now.
Oh my God. Well, 10 years, I'm probably going to have my family built.
Yeah.
And be fulfilled, have a great career.
Are you single?
Probably, I am single.
Typical Albanian question, but we're trying to make a little group of like, who are the single ones? Matchmaking.
Yeah, I did see you guys. You mentioned in some other interview. I am single. Build up on my career and build up. This is gonna be. I know for sure that donating and fundraising for different causes is gonna be my long-term goal, and I'm gonna focus on that as well. And then.
Well, let's talk about your career. Like, what's your career? What's into what business?
Well,
Is that
right now I'm
specific?
working as a staff accountant.
Okay.
In the school that I graduated from, they hired me as an accountant. I'm also doing my master's in accountancy.
Okay.
So that's probably gonna be my career. But fundraising, as I mentioned, and
That's your
donation,
passion.
that's my passion. So
And you,
Would you consider opening a not-for-profit down the road and focusing on that and raising money through a 501(c)(3)
or joining another not-for-profit.
Or yeah, there's so many out there already. So
well, I am part of a nonprofit, which is Zorini, the Young Albanian Forum from Shkodër. But
is
something
that
on
they
my
here or they're back home?
that is over here, yes.
Okay. What's the name?
Gzorini.
Gzorini?
Gzorini, yes.
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
Yes, we did it Albanian
Okay.
style. But something to open a nonprofit is a big responsibility.
Yeah.
It's just not for me because you're basically going to get all the community together, and it's gonna have its pros and its cons. So it's really, I think it's early for me right now to open a nonprofit. As I'm doing the projects, they're big, but also
So you're
not that
looking
big
at it
as
more,
for a
more
nonprofit.
project-based and working with multiple
Exactly, more project-based, yes. Than having my own. Maybe in the future, along the way, it will happen. It might happen. I'm not sure, but I think that right now I'm too early I'm in a young age to start that big a step to open a nonprofit.
That makes sense.
So Megi, thank you for being here. Any last message that you want to share with young people out there that how to get involved with the Albanian student clubs in general?
Absolutely. Get involved. Every contribution helps. Every initiative helps. Every brainstorm helps. One thing taught me this. We need one person helps a family. A family helps a neighborhood. A neighborhood helps a city, and a city helps the whole country.
Very nice.
So credits to Amina for teaching me this, and yeah, that's what I would say to young fellows. Start helping your family. Your family is gonna help the city, and then that's how it's gonna go along the way, and then that's where you make the contribution. It doesn't matter if your name comes out or not. It matters that you started it and what happened at the end.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Where can they find you if they want to get involved into the club?
We do have the club Instagram, which is the main way of contact, ARC_SFC, or they can also DM on my personal Instagram.
Sure. Well, Megi, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you,
It was a
Megi.
pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you, and I wish you guys the best and more successful podcasts.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then
we're only as good as our guests, so thank you.
And we'll hope to have you again if you have a big project that you want to promote and you want to talk about. You're always welcome to come back on the show.
For sure.
Thank you.